Yesterday we marked the saddest day in the Jewish calendar, which was the 9th of Av, commemorating the destruction of two temples in Jerusalem, 490 years apart, some 1955 years ago, 1,955 years ago. The Romans came to squash a rebellion of the Jews, and they massacred and pillaged and took captivity, and we went into exile, which we are in till today. What was the rebellion about? Why did the Jews fight so much to keep Jerusalem and the temple? They were fighting for a unique Jewish perspective, a unique Jewish value known as monotheism. The Jews, of course, we believe in monotheism, one God and no other deities, where the other cultures did not believe that way, and therefore the Jews held on very strongly to our belief and fought to the last tooth and nail to keep that alive. We still keep it alive, but we don't have a temple in Jerusalem. Where does the concept of monotheism come from? What does it really mean? So in this week's Torah reading, on Saturday, on Shabbat, we're going to read the most famous words of the Torah, which is on the lips of every single Jew, Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, God is our God, God is one. The whole proclamation of monotheism. When we say monotheism, we don't only mean that there's only one God and one deity. There's no God of the rain, God of the wind, but one creator who created everything. And God is omnipresent. He's involved in every single detail of life. That's really what monotheism is about. God's presence and God's knowledge and God's love embraces us every moment. And that's what we proclaim every single day. We take it from today's Torah reading, from this week's Torah reading, Shema Yisrael, and then we recite it. It says you should bind them as a sign upon your hand. They should be for a reminder between your eyes. And we put it on the doorposts, and we recite it every day when you lie down and when you rise. So there's very specific rules that come with this ritual. The ritual is to recite the Shema every single day when we wake up in the morning, up to 3 hours of a day, say till about 9:15, and then to recite it every night after nightfall before we go to sleep. Sometimes we say it more than once in a day. There are 3 parts to this Shema. One section is a Shema v'ahavta, about 10 lines that are mentioned in this week's Torah reading. The next section begins v'haya shemoa. It will be, if you will hearken to my commandments. That's the second section, and that's from next week's Torah reading, Akev. Then there's a third section, which we speak about the mitzvah of tzitzit, wearing a talit and tzitzit, and the Exodus. That goes back to Parshat Shlach a little earlier in the Torah. When we say the Shema every morning, we cover our eyes, we think about what it means to be embraced and enveloped in God's love. And then we say ve'ahavta. Ve'ahavta is we should love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. This deep, deep love that we have, which is embedded in our soul, a connection that we have with God that supersedes any rationale, a connection that we have that supersedes anything that we may think or anything that may feel, is deeply embedded. But that love should be and can be translated into real life. What does that love mean? So it says that these words which I command you should be on your heart, and you shall teach them to your children. This, of course, is the mitzvah of teaching it to our children, all about Judaism, the Torah, the beautiful heritage that we have, and so on. And then we take it and put it on our arms, like I mentioned earlier. We put it on a doorpost. We envelop every aspect of our life with that idea and that love of God around us. Take a moment, think about the Shema. May we see godliness around us. May there come a time where the world will recognize this monotheism, this oneness. May God's presence and as the Creator be manifest in everyday life with the coming of Mashiach. May it happen speedily in our days. Shabbat Shalom.